Kevin, why did you just remove Friday from your calendar?
Because I am testing my perfect work week. 4 days of work, then 3 days off.
You decided that very quickly. Did your boss also agree to your perfect work week?
Not yet. That small detail is still missing. But imagine having every Friday free.
I can imagine it. I would sleep longer, meet friends, and finally finish boring home jobs.
See, you already sound convinced. I thought you would tell me people need 5 work days.
I am not convinced yet. A shorter week sounds great, but somebody still has to finish the work.
True. The big question is whether people can do the same work in less time. That is the part companies care about most.
That sounds possible in some jobs. Fewer meetings alone could probably save several hours.
Careful. Somewhere a manager just felt nervous when you said that.
I am serious. Some meetings are useful, but others could be one short message.
I agree with that. If people had less time, maybe they would protect their time better.
Exactly. They might focus more and waste less time during the day.
But here is my problem. What if 4 days become 4 extremely stressful days?
That worries me too. A 4-day week should not mean doing 12 hours every day.
Right. Otherwise, Friday becomes recovery day instead of a real day off.
And that changes the whole idea. People want better balance, not a different kind of exhaustion. If everyone is exhausted, the shorter week failed.
Work-life balance is why this idea sounds attractive to many people.
Yes, more time outside work could mean more rest, family time, exercise, or personal projects.
I would probably spend Friday doing nothing for the first month.
Nothing? You already made a very ambitious plan 5 minutes ago.
Plans can change. That is another benefit of having more free time.
Fair enough. But would you accept less money for that extra day off?
No, absolutely not. My dream disappeared very quickly there.
That is the difficult part. Many people support shorter weeks only if pay stays the same.
And companies will ask whether the same amount of work still gets done.
Exactly. If productivity stays strong, the idea becomes much easier to defend.
Productivity sounds formal, but here it simply means how much useful work gets finished.
Right, and some jobs are easier to measure than others.
A designer might finish projects faster, but what about a hospital or a restaurant?
That is where I become more careful. Those places cannot simply close every Friday.
So workers might need different days off instead of everyone taking Friday.
Yes, a 4-day work week does not have to mean the same 4 days for everyone.
That makes the idea more realistic. I was imagining the whole city disappearing every Friday.
Shops closed, buses empty, and Kevin sleeping until noon. That future sounds lovely until you need a dentist.
Fair point. Services still need people, so schedules would have to change.
And some workers may prefer 5 shorter days instead of 4 longer ones.
I actually might choose that. Finishing earlier every day sounds better than one extra day off.
Really? I thought Friday Freedom was your whole campaign.
I am allowed to change my campaign after thinking for 10 minutes.
That is reasonable. I prefer one full day off because it creates real distance from work.
Why does that distance matter more to you?
Because 2-day weekends often feel too short. One day disappears into shopping, cleaning, and life admin.
Then Sunday becomes the day you start thinking about Monday.
Exactly. With 3 days, 1 day can be practical and 2 can actually feel free.
Now you are selling the idea better than I did.
Maybe, but there is another question. Would customers accept waiting longer for replies?
That depends on the business. Some customers already expect fast answers every day.
Then teams would need good planning. Someone must be available when others are off.
So the phrase, make it work, fits here. The idea sounds simple, but details decide everything.
Yes, a company could try it for 3 months and see what happens.
I like that better than changing everything overnight. Test it, collect feedback, then adjust. A trial gives people time to notice real problems.
Exactly. If workers feel better but customers feel worse, the company has a problem.
And if workers feel better while results stay strong, that is a powerful argument.
Would you work harder during 4 days if Friday was completely yours?
Honestly, probably yes. I would protect that Friday like a holiday.
That motivation could help, but pressure could also rise if managers expect too much.
Then the company needs clear limits. Shorter weeks only work if people can actually switch off.
Switch off is a useful phrase here. It means stopping work and mentally leaving it behind.
That is harder than it sounds. Some people answer messages even during dinner.
I have done that. Then one message becomes five, and suddenly your evening belongs to work.
That is exactly why this topic feels bigger than one free Friday.
Yes, it is really about how much space work should take in our lives.
And different people will give different answers. Some love work and want flexible hours.
Others want a clear ending every day. Neither choice is automatically better.
I think that is why one system may not fit every job or every person.
Agreed. The future might be more flexible, not simply 4 days for everyone.
So maybe the real change is choice. 4 days, shorter days, remote days, or mixed schedules.
That feels more realistic to me. People could choose what helps them work well and live well.
And companies could focus more on results than hours spent sitting at a desk.
That would be a big change. Some workplaces still connect long hours with hard work.
But being busy and being productive are not always the same thing.
Exactly. Someone can sit for 10 hours and still achieve very little.
While another person finishes strong work in 6 focused hours.
So the 4-day week challenges an old idea about work time.
Yes, it asks whether time at work matters more than useful results.
I still think the answer depends on the job, but I would definitely try a 4-day week.
Same here. I would test it before calling it the future.
And your first free Friday? Still doing absolutely nothing?
I have improved the plan. Coffee first, nothing second, maybe laundry much later.
That sounds believable. Mine would start with a long breakfast and no work messages.
I think we have our final thought. A shorter week sounds exciting, but the details matter.
Would a 4-day work week make your life better? Tell us why in the comments.
And tell us what you would do with Friday. See you next time.
Unless Kevin has already removed that day from our schedule.